NJ FMBA is committed to keeping the lives of our first responders and the civilians in the communities we serve safe each and every day. We are proud to partner with the leadership of the Union County Career Police Chiefs Association and deliver this educational and potentially life-saving information to our brothers and sisters in blue. I encourage you to watch this video and to share it with other members of the law enforcement community. Thank you and stay safe.
The NJ FMBA has partnered with the Union County Police Chiefs Association to provide insight and education to our brothers and sisters in blue with the hopes that one day it'll save a life or prevent a tragedy from taking place. We ask that you take a few minutes to watch this video and join our efforts to create a safer fire scene for our communities, fire departments, and law enforcement officers. As firefighters and police officers, we often find ourselves responding to the same incidents together. Both professions have their own respective challenges. We feel that some basic fire science training to the law enforcement community will be beneficial for all parties and will provide for a safer fire ground. Some of the information provided in this presentation has been culminated from the recent research done by Underwriters Laboratories and the National Institute for Standards of Technology. These two organizations have played important roles in researching and understanding fire science in the changing world over the past several years. Their recent study looked at modern-day fires and how building construction and materials used in our home have changed fire dynamics over the past 30 years. Their primary focus has been emphasis on fire growth, ventilation management, and flow paths. Ventilation has shown the most significant impact on the growth of the fire. As firefighters, we know that oxygen, heat, and fuel are the necessary ingredients for most fires. And as police officers, the only one of these you will most likely have the ability to control is the limitation of oxygen by simply closing or controlling doors and refraining from breaking windows. Police officers often respond to, and most times find themselves arriving at the fire scene before the fire department. In some cases, police officers must make a decision to act to save a life. Without the proper training on fire behavior and dynamics, the actions taken could have a significant impact on the outcome of the fire and the safety of all persons in the building, including yourself. First arriving officers should position squad cars in a way that leaves room for the fire apparatus that will be arriving. You can provide for a safe roadway scene for the firefighters and not block any fire hydrants that may be in the vicinity of the fire. It is imperative that both the front of the building and the fire hydrant have easy access for the incoming fire apparatus. As a law enforcement officer on the Fireground, one of your most important roles is to control civilians. Information from occupants and bystanders, like how the fire started, where the fire is in the structure, and if there is anyone left inside, can quickly help the fire incident commander in making decisions on the strategies and tactics of the fire ground. One of the most crucial pieces of information firefighters receive while en route to the fire is the first arriving company's scene size-up. The information provided from the scene size-up helps us determine our course of action, where to place our apparatus, and what we anticipate doing prior to our arrival on the fire scene. As an officer that arrives on scene prior to the fire department, the scene size-up can be the most helpful piece of information to the incoming fire companies. Here are some things to consider. Is smoke showing? How much? And is there also fire showing? If so, where is it showing from? Does it smell like burnt food, burning wood, or does it have a chemical smell? Note the volume of observed fire and smoke. Just because nothing is visible from the exterior does not mean that there is a small fire or no fire in the interior. Are there reports of people trapped? Are the fire conditions you observe survivable? Is it an occupied residential structure, or is it a lot commercial or vacant structure? In the event that an officer decides to take action, there are several considerations that need to be made. Limit fresh air to the fire by avoiding breaking windows and closing doors. Although it is not recommended, if you feel that entering a burning building to search for victims is critical, utilize the VEIS, Vent, Enter, Isolate, Search method. Let's start with vent. If you're using a door to vent, be sure to check the door for high heat first. Stay low and control the opening of the door. If there is heavy fire, quickly close the door and either try a different entry point or wait for help to arrive. If it is a window you are using, make sure you try to clear the entire frame of glass so that you or an occupant do not get injured from the sharp edges of the glass. If possible, try to remove the entire window from the frame. Now let's look at enter. Make sure that you sound the floor prior to entering the room. If the fire is below the floor you are entering, there is a possibility it may have burned through the floor. Stay low upon entry and avoid superheated gases above your head. One inhalation of the toxic gases could be fatal. Isolation is the most important part of the VEIS method. The key to preventing violent fire growth is isolation. By closing the door to the room you are searching, you are helping to prevent the fire from progressing to that room. It is important to understand that temperatures can increase by several hundred degrees throughout the home simply by opening a door or a window, and that conditions can change in an instant. You must act quickly to get in and out of the building before conditions deteriorate and become uninhabitable. Search. Make sure you have a plan and a technique to search the room prior to entering it. You can easily become disoriented and overcome by smoke. Utilize a search method that allows you to maintain contact with the wall at all times while sweeping the floor and under furniture with a tool or your other arm. Perform the search systematically to save time and get in and out quickly. We have put together a list of things that you should and should not do while on the Fireground to prevent a tragedy from taking place. Let's look at some of the do's. Verify the address of the fire building. Confirm that the fire department is responding. Determine the fire location in the building, and if so, do it from outside of the building. Obtain information by questioning everyone present at the incident. Advise your dispatch if you are entering the building, and confirm that they advise the fire department's arriving immediately. Close all doors behind you, as we have learned that isolation is the key to preventing fire growth. Have an escape plan and consider a secondary means of egress. Check the layout of the floor below the fire. Use a wall as a guide and count the doors from the stairway so you can find the stairway door on your return. And if possible, leave a member at the door of the fire area to guide you back. Never enter the fire area alone. Now let's have a look at some of the things that you should not do while on the Fireground. Do not block the front of the building with police vehicles. Do not block hydrants. Use driveways or bus stops to park. Do not use elevators. Elevators can spread the fire from floor to floor when used improperly. Do not go above the lowest level of the fire. As we talked about, do not ventilate unnecessarily. Don't break the glass and do not leave doors open. Do not stay inside longer than absolutely necessary. Do not expect conditions to remain the same as when you entered. They will change quickly and often. Do not remain in the building after the fire department arrives and begins its operation. If you find a victim, do not attempt to stand and carry the victim from the fire area. Stay low to the floor and drag the victims to safety. And finally, do not assume that all windows can be opened from the inside, as you can end up trapped. This has been a presentation by the New Jersey State Firefighters Mutual Benevolent Association and the Union County Police Chiefs Association. We hope that you can take the information from this presentation and bring it back to your departments in the hopes that one day it will prevent a tragedy from taking place. Thank you for watching and stay safe.